Has anyone ever had an officer freeze up on them when they're in a dangerous situation? What do we do when that happens? When we have an officer that freezes up in a dangerous situation, officers get injured, and he or she could have probably saved the injuries from occurring. Maybe, we don't know. Other question is, once an officer becomes scared of inmates or scared to assist officers in need, is it curable? What should we do with these type of staff members? Do we give them remedial training? Do we punish them and put them on the porch for a few days and give them remedial training? Or do we let them go? Is it an uncurable disease? Hi, I'm Gary York, True Prison Stories. Please subscribe if you like this video. You know, this has happened, unfortunately. And, you know, one case that I remember is a couple of female officers were working a pod in a jail. And a fight broke out among the female inmates. And one officer was trying to handle the situation, and the other one ran out of the pod. The control room officer, she saw this happen. She did something that is not within the rules, but she had to save her fellow officer. So the control room officer put a trash can in the doorway of the control room, ran out, and helped the other officer quell the disturbance. But the other officer came in when the situation was over and acted like she wanted to know what was going on. And the control room officer said, "You know darn well what was going on. I saw you leave the minute the incident went down." Cowardice is what I call it in my book. We have no place for that. Unfortunately, even after the other officers, I know it's probably not a nice thing to do, but they nicknamed her Scary. What did management do? They moved her to a better position where she didn't have to be in the dorms or the pods with the inmates. Now, is that solving the problem? Moving them away from the situation? I don't think so. I think she should have either been punished with some disciplinary action or given remedial training, or both. I think she should have been made to stay where she was and learn how to deal with the inmates before she moved on. In so many cases, unfortunately, people who have performed cowardice acts move on. They're protected. You know, that's not right. And if I'm too harsh, I want somebody to let me know. Somebody say, "You're too harsh on these people." Well, you know, when an officer's life is at stake, we need somebody we can rely on. Hey, you don't have to be super strong and tough and all that. Just get in there and grab an arm and a leg or do something to help your fellow officer. Every little bit helps. It doesn't matter if you cannot take the inmate down yourself. If there's a disturbance, an officer's being attacked, an officer's in danger, you get in there, you grab an ear, you grab a nose, you poke an eye, do something. And I'm not telling you anything that is against the rules, because if an officer is being attacked, you must use force to stop the inmate from injuring that officer. But if you're a coward and you just hang out in the corner or grab a logbook, these things have happened, folks. Grab a logbook and start logging like you're doing something. You've got to be kidding me. That would make me want to take that logbook and crack it over your head, because you didn't come help me. You're just trying to do busy work or look like you're important or look like you're doing something. Forget all that junk. Forget the logs. Call for help on your radio. Have you ever seen the officers? "I ran for help." Well, you have a radio right here. Look, my hand to the radio. Need assistance, need backup. Now, in the situation I gave you, the officers were already in the dorm when this happened. So, you know, we want to wait. If we're not in the dorm and something happens, we want to call for backup, call it in, and wait till we have enough people. But listen, folks, if you've been in this business, you know all these wonderful scenarios are great. We do want to wait for backup. But sometimes these things are spontaneous. They happen right there during feeding time. They happen during med pass. Well, you're in the spot, you're in the situation immediately. There's no waiting for backup. You are in the situation. Everybody better run and help in those type cases if you're in the position to do it. You know, all units available, all units that can. You know, sometimes you can't leave your assigned area because you're watching 200 inmates. You can't leave them alone. But every available person better get in there. And you better not stand around in some corner or somewhere and watch and not get your hands dirty. You know, I can't let you ride in my posse. I know that's an old saying. But I can't let you ride in my posse if you're going to be a coward. I don't want you in my posse if you're going to be a coward. So then what do? We just hide you and put you away somewhere until we can promote you or something? Come on, folks. This is serious business. Cowardice is an administrative charge that you can use in many agencies. Cowardice can even be a criminal charge in some cases. It has happened both ways, folks. We had a riot at Hardy Correctional Institution one year. This was after I was out of uniform, became a prison inspector. We pulled the videotapes. One officer in the rec area, in the rec yard, was being beaten by 5 inmates. Now this officer later had to be medevaced out to Tampa General Hospital. We see an officer coming by, stopping, looking around, and running. Cowardice. We charged that officer with cowardice in our reports and sent it to the state attorney. Okay? Then it's up to them to decide what to do, and they usually drop it to something for a lesser plea or drop it altogether. But we have to take action, folks. We have to do something. And there have been people that have been charged for cowardice where it's stuck. Those of you that have been in the military before corrections, you know darn well cowardice is a very serious charge. And it should be within corrections also. We hire people to do a job, not just fill out the logs and type in the daily counts, you know, not just that. We hire you to protect your fellow officers and protect the inmates as well. We know that's part of our job, but not to run hide. Didn't want to make this too long. I think I got my point across. Let me know, have you ever had a situation where an officer froze up on you when you needed them? What do? Is it a curable disease? Because I call cowardice a disease. If you've got it in you to be scared of the inmates and a coward, it might be hard to get it out of you. I don't know, okay? I'm not the brain expert here, but I do know that I don't want you riding in my posse. But until then, let me know your thoughts on that, and shoot straight and stay in your lane. Thank you very much.